Alright, I'm coming up with something cool here. It's not a siren anymore. It was a siren. So, yeah, can you see what's going on here? 3-phase transformers. And I'm in the middle of nowhere, guys. Like, look. This is 3-phase transformers. Alright? And you have power lines that lead into an abyss, just like in York Haven. Except in York Haven, the 3-phase transformers are like all the way in the back, and then the Cyclone is like off to the right, you know, in the woods. But here you have the 3-phase transformers at the road. They're cut, and there is nothing here. You have, well, right here you have where there was a pole, but there isn't anymore. And if you're wondering what this is here, what that hole right there, that may have been the T128 location, but that also may have been a Cyclone location, because I am currently at the former location of ACA Cyclone number 507. This is in Gravel Hill Road, just a little out of Mount Wolf, PA. A little bit out of Mount Wolf. See, this is Gravel Hill Road. The Cyclone was right here. I think the T128 may have actually been a little further down. Oh yeah, because there is a disconnected single-phase transformer right here. This transformer would have been single-phase. This would have been for the T128. And that spot was like probably right up there somewhere. I don't know. I just know this is where the T128 was. And then the Cyclone was, there's the transformer for the Cyclone. They actually put them at the road. In York Haven, you can't see them because they're all the way back in the woods. And then the Cyclone is also, if this was York Haven, the Cyclone would be like back in the tree line to the right, tucked back in there, if this was York Haven. But this is Gravel Hill Road. The Cyclone was like right here. Like, yeah, as a whole. That could have been the T128, but I'm pretty sure that was the Cyclone. That is a simple hole. Yeah, this is where it was. This is cut. These transformers used to be for the Cyclone that was here. But it was not on this side of the road. It was on that side of the road. It was like I said, it was right where this little post is. And then the T128 was just a little ways that way. If I recall correctly. I do have to look back at satellite and street view, but remember, York Haven had transformers. They actually have multiple sets of transformers in York Haven. Because I actually don't know. I just know there's an electrical substation like right near that York Haven Cyclone. And that's the reason why the York Haven Cyclone was hidden back in the trees. It was a setup just like this, where you have power lines going into a tree line to an abyss. And then the Cyclone was like over to the right, like in the trees. That was York Haven. I think that's the way York Haven was, because that is substation owned property. And that old siren system was, while it was installed by GPU Nuclear and Exelon, it was maintained by Met Ed. So that's why it's there. The T128 was installed at Shelley Park across Castle Road, this is Gravel Hill Road. This is not Castle Road, but pretending this is Castle Road, Cyclone's back in there, T128's over here, because Shelley Park did not exist when the Cyclone was put in. But when the T128 was put in, Shelley Park did exist. So there was already an existing power service drop at Shelley Park that allowed them to put the T128 right there. And actually, I just noticed something. These power lines are 3-phase, and they go right here, and then they continue. You can see that they continue down that way, further into an abyss. But look at that load. That was added. That right there is added on. That's an addition. These power lines right here are newer, and they lead to the single-phase transformer that previously had the T128 attached to it. Because this single-phase transformer here is also cut, because the T128 was removed. You can see there's nothing coming out of that. There's a wire dangling, and it's cut. The wire goes right down like halfway, and then it just stops. I don't even know where. There's a bug in my face, so I can't really give you a good shot. So that's gonna do it for this video. Previous location of Sirens tour. There's my bike down there. That's how I got here. And you can enjoy a little view that I cannot see with my own eyes because I'm not tall enough, but I can raise the camera up. I don't know what's down there. But where those power lines lead, that's the old infrastructure down there. Where does that go? Hopefully you guys can see. It looks like they just continue into the abyss. And I think that leads down towards Saginaw.